Well, ladies and gentlemen, you may have seen a post on the channel a few days ago with a picture of a rather peculiar gentleman and a post. Basically, it was a warning about posting videos on your channel that have been made by other people. I'm going to explain exactly what this was about. Now, some of you knew what it was about. A lot of you were intrigued. A lot of you probably don't have any idea what I'm talking about. But I'm going to try and cut a long story short as much as I can, and I'm going to try and get into this. Because we were in partnership with another YouTube channel for about 6 weeks, and that partnership has abruptly come to an end. This is exactly what this is about, and I'm going to explain the story as briefly as I can. Some of you that have been following the collaboration may know that we had a little bit of a last thing on the channel, on their channel on Saturday night, and I use that as an opportunity, knowing that he doesn't watch my videos before he posts them, because he's not the smartest tool in the drawer, obviously. For some reason, he doesn't watch the videos before he splices them into his shows and uploads them to YouTube, so I use that opportunity to get some truth out there, but I didn't really have time. I had to do it quickly. So today I'm going to explain everything. Now, if you did see that brief clip on Saturday night, you may have noticed that I used a little bit of colourful language. Now, I think I let myself down a little bit in that. I stand by the majority of what I said. It was all based in fact, but do you know what? On certain occasions during that little rant I had, that little speech, you know, a few low blows. There was a few things I did that weren't high class, and I like to think of past gen gaming as a high class operation. And some of the things I did, for instance, you know, the swearing, the name calling, that wasn't based in fact. For example, calling someone a names is not good. So what I've got in front of me here is kind of an incentive for me to keep this clean. Now, I've got £10 in change, which I'm planning on going to the shop after I've recorded this video, and I'm planning on buying myself a nice fillet steak, a lovely piece of fillet steak. You know, I want to treat myself, but I've got this jar in front of me, and my rule for this video is, if I hurl any sort of thoughtless insult at this person, let me just give you an example. This won't count as money going in the jar, but if I was to say that he enjoys making love to farmyard animals, that's not based in fact. Heavily rumoured, but it's not based in fact, so that would be money in the jar. Or if it was just to resort to name calling, calling him a dickhead, an arsehole, whatever, if I was to do that during this video, I'm going to put some money in the jar as well. I want it to keep me classy, I want to keep this professional, and hopefully this jar being here will keep it that way, and I'll walk away with a full amount of money, and I can go and get myself a nice piece of fillet steak for me tea. Let's get into this. So, let's start off with who this person is. Obviously, the guy in the picture is the guy that runs Colonial Impact Wrestling. He's calling himself the Sentinel at the moment. I believe he was calling himself the Colonel at one point. I prefer to think of him as the Admiral. Now, you're probably thinking, why am I calling him the Admiral? Well, because he looks like a man that spent a lot of time surrounded by seamen. Oh, I've done it, Anna. We're only about 2 minutes into the video and I've already done it. Right. No, I said I was going to put it in the jar, didn't I? So I'm going to stick to that agreement. I'm going to stick to it. There's something wrong with this jar. The thing's stuck. The slot's stuck. There we go. It's gone in. Gone in. 50p in there. 50p in there, lads. You can't see that, but I hope you heard it. I'm down to £9.50. But that's a warning. That's a warning shot for me. So anyway, this guy who runs Colonial Impact Wrestling, we were in partnership for a long time. Again, I'm going to try and go over this story as quickly as I can. So, in a nutshell, they do something along the same lines as we do. Obviously, not quite as well as we do it. You can't improve on perfection. But they use a similar game to what we use. They do similar things. They do matches with commentary. The only difference is, when we do a match, we upload a single match, because you might only want to watch that match. They do one video a week and they have several matches in that video. Pretty simple to get your head around. And I looked at him, I became aware of them when he actually posted something on one of my videos. This was probably a few months before the partnership. And that was the first time I became aware of Colonial Impact Wrestling. Now, they have been around for many, many years on YouTube. I believe 2013 was the year they started. And they've not amassed many followers, subscribers, view counts. They very rarely get 100 views on a video. Shorts very rarely break 1,000. Things of that nature. And I noticed us over here, we're doing quite well. We've not been around for very long. And do you know what I thought? There's probably quite a few people in my fan base that would probably like his content as well, because it's along the same genre. So I reached out to him, and I basically said, look, why don't we do a bit of a collaboration, you know? We'll make some matches for you. It's possible we could maybe feature the odd match of yours on our channel, but the main point of this will be, we'll send you matches over, we'll edit them, I'll do all the work, it's all done. It's a finished video that I could upload to this channel and it'd probably do bigger numbers. But you know what? I'm going to give that away. I'm going to give content away to this person to try and help them out, to try and get them above 300 subscribers. The only thing he had to do in return for this absolutely great deal that I was offering him was to ensure that when he puts our match on his card, that it's the last match on the card, the main event. Now the reason for this is, I was going to plug his full card on my channel, his full video. The idea behind this is people will tune in for my match, and because it's on last, they'll sit through some of his matches, it'll expose people to his product, to his videos, and hopefully it will convert some of them to go over, and I believe that works. I believe quite a few of you went over from this channel to Colonial Impact Wrestling, which was great. That was the idea, that was the intention. But do you remember I said that deal that we had? That he agreed to, by the way. That we would be main event every time. Well, that deal lasted 2 weeks before he went back on it. Because the stupid fucking liar can't keep... No. You see what I've done there again? Do you know what? Calling him a liar's not wrong, but the profanity wasn't needed. I'm going to put another 50p in the jar. There you go, that's... I'm down to £9 now. I can still get a nice piece of steak with that. So he went back on the deal after 2 weeks. And I let it slide. I shouldn't have done, but I let it slide. Now bear in mind, this is from memory. This is not verbatim, but I do have emails of all this stuff. Just want to remind him of that if he's watching. Because I think he may have forgot some of the emails he sent me as well, but... I have emails of all this. I said, look, could we not be main event? No, you're not main event this time. Right, okay, fine for 1 week, do it. 2 weeks later, he does the same thing again. And it culminated 2 weeks later when he pushes us to open match on the card. Which, I mean, opening match on the card, it completely defeats the object of the plan I had, which was to tell people there's a match on his channel and they have to sit through some of his matches before our match airs. If we're on opening match of the card, they're going to turn up for that match and they're going to go away. Which defeats the point of this entire collaboration. Another thing that was quite annoying was that he wanted me to air one of his matches on my channel, which I kind of said might happen. I didn't guarantee it, but I did say we could do that. He sent me a video which was of very poor quality. I mean, it was like looking for a kaleidoscope. It was all pixelated, it was terrible, the video quality was bad. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. When I started this channel, I just had a capture card that wasn't brilliant. My video recording stuff wasn't great. I sympathise with that. So do you know what I said to him? I said, look, we can improve this, because it's going to air on my channel. It's got to be to a certain quality. I can't have a really bad quality picture, because most people who come all the time are going to click on it. They're going to think, well, the quality on this is terrible. They're going to notice by comparison, and they're probably just going to click off it. So I said, you know, let's make a good first impression. Now, I didn't just outwardly say your video's terrible, because I'm a nice guy. I wouldn't do that to him. So what I did was I tried to be diplomatic and I basically said, oh, maybe I could record it on the emulator. You could still do the commentary, but I'd do a bit of the editing, bit of the work. You could commentate over it. It'd still be your channel. You can plug your channel on my channel. You know, do it however you want. Commentate over the match in it. That'd probably be the biggest boom for his channel. But he wasn't willing to make the improvements. It's air it as it is in poor quality, or I'm annoyed at you. So he was annoyed at me. This culminates last Saturday, when I get what can only be described as an unhinged ranting email. This absolute fucking idiot. I've done it again, haven't I, ladies and gentlemen? Right, I'm down to pound coins now, so that's £8. Do you know what? £8, that still buys you a steak. Might not quite have enough for fillet steak, but do you know what? I could probably get a nice piece of rump and still have some money left over. So, he sends me a ranting email, which is where I was at before I lost £2. He sends me a ranting email. I've had enough of this. We've had enough of this. Oh, you're at CIW. Despite the fact I've been doing nothing but help this person out. Despite the fact I've been putting extra work in to try and help him out. Nothing but complaints. And this isn't the first time I've had a complaint from him. But he's really gone unhinged this time. And he's saying, air our match. Or this is over, basically. As if I was going to be like, oh no. No, don't walk away from us. Those 300 subscribers you've got. 3 of them might come over to our channel. We can't lose this collaboration. Well, that didn't happen. So what I did was, I said, fine, let's end it. We should have been main event every day. Clearly something's got lost in this. Something's been miscommunicated. Whatever's happened, I don't know. I'm not happy either. Let's call it a day. No harm done. But do you know what? The more I stewed on that, the more I thought about it, the more I got annoyed. So I hatched a little plan, ladies and gentlemen. And as I've already said to you, I'm very aware that he just slots my match into his video, doesn't watch it, and just lets it air. And with this in mind, I offered to do a good thing. You know what? I thought it's payback time. I've put up with your stuff for long enough. I've had nothing but headaches. You've been no help to me. Even though the only reason I'm doing this is to help you. And listen, there's other little things as well that I may touch on one day, but I just want to keep to the basic story here, because I don't want this to be a 30-minute video. I've got other stuff to do. So I said, I'll do one last match for you. I'll air it on your channel. He wanted me to be opening match on the card. Again, that completely defeats the object of what we were trying to do. But I'll be professional, and we'll do one last match, and we'll part company. Everything's nice. And he went for this. The stupid fucking idiot. Oh, for God's sake. I don't think that should count, but... No, it should. No. I'm down to £7 now. I'm still in line for a rump steak. And I can drop a couple more insults. So that's what we did. We had a match on the channel. And what I did was a little bit of a message from me to his fans. The last few minutes, I decided to expose the truth behind this. Because do you know what? I knew what was going to happen. I knew as soon as this ended... Because originally the plan was, well, I'll announce that this is ended. Because I knew exactly what he'd do. He'd lie about it. He wouldn't be truthful with what happened. He'd try and sort of put it down. Oh, we just decided to end it. Or I've done nothing wrong. I've not done anything wrong. Because that's the way he is. Everything's perfect. You know, I'll admit I did a couple of things wrong in this. Really, I shouldn't have done what I did on Saturday night. I'll admit that. But do you know what? If time went back and everything happened the same way, I'd do it again. Because there's nothing worse than somebody who gives you their word, and the word is worth nothing, and they go back on an agreement. So no, that was my little bit of revenge. Maybe I shouldn't have used the colourful language, but do you know what? I don't regret that. I'd do it again. The other thing, I should have been more forceful. I should have said, look, that match is no good. It can't air on my channel. You need to do something with it. But I didn't. I tried to be polite, and I tried to let him down gently and do it subtly. It didn't work. The guy's absolutely half-witted. Again, it doesn't seem strong enough, but do you know what? No, I'm a man of my word. Unlike the people at CIW, I'm down to £5. Have I lost a pound here? I'm sure I was up to 6 a minute ago. Hang on, I've dropped it here. Or maybe I miscounted. I'm down to £5, folks. Do you know what? I can still get myself a nice beef steak anyway. So I've admitted that there's a couple of things that I did wrong during this. And do you know what? They're not massive mistakes, but if I make a mistake, I'll stand up and say I made a mistake. But this guy... I've got the impression for a long time that he does no wrong. Well, in his own eyes, I should say. He does no wrong. Everything is everybody else's fault. It's not his fault. It's all my fault. And I knew that's what he was going to try and do. That's why I got my bit out first. Because I wanted his fans to know. Because they've been seeing our stuff on his channel. I wanted them to know that it's all his fault. That it ended. Because it is. And that's pretty much it. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's a bit irrational to think that he's going to start telling lies to make you look bad so he can be like the good guy on his channel because he's got to be the big hero and loved by everybody. Well, I wasn't really wrong on that because it only took about 24 hours before he proved me exactly right. And he started spouting his lies on his channel to try and make me look worse than I am and to try and make him look like he's a saint and he did no wrong. So, to end this video, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end on the last two things that he's posted in regards to this. One of them was a response to my comment, because the stupid fucking idiot can't... Down to £4 now. I could probably still scrape to a beef steak, but I'm not going to be able to buy anything to go with it. It's costing me a fortune down there at CIW. As I was saying, I knew he'd lie, I knew he'd tell me his truth, so... let's take a look at some of the things that this unhinged lunatic... Stop it! Drop one on the floor as well. I'm down to £3 now. Do you know what? I can maybe get myself some sausages. Sausages are nice. But anyway, let's react to these videos that he's put up and let's talk through everything that's wrong with what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that you are all well aware of what has happened this past weekend, but we're going to make this short because we don't want to give this more attention than it deserves.
Translation, he wants to leech as much off as he can off me. And he's got an opportunity here to talk about my channel, hopefully get his viewer count up. Also, if you're going to stick with the story that you're trying to make this as short as you can, don't push the video to the absolute limit of 2 minutes and 59 seconds, which I know is the maximum amount of length that you can get on a short video. So, To say he's trying to make it as short as he can, he obviously didn't try very hard, did he?
On Saturday Night Hype, this past Saturday, Past Gen Wrestling had an opening matchup between Chris Van Vliet and SpongeBob SquarePants,
where out,
after
the
match,
match,
the commissioner of Past Gen Wrestling, Jason Ryan, said some very inflammatory statements about myself and about Colonial Impact Wrestling. And most of what was said was not only inflammatory, but also provably untrue, namely in regards to emails that were sent.
Everything I said was true. We'll come back to the emails later. I'm going to save that for the end.
And what's going on with that. And I think that his little promo that he cut on CIW was very revealing regarding his mentality. And I hold no ill will against him necessarily. I'm disappointed.
Whoa, hang on a minute. Did you see that? That was a big 180, wasn't it? 1 second he's saying, I don't hold any ill will towards you. The next he's lunging, he's got an angry face on, he's moving his head in a weird way. What's going on there?
No ill will against him.
What's this?
Necessarily. I'm disappointed.
Look at that. That is... It's like I'm in the room with him, innit? He's trying to get me. He's trying to go for the throat. He's trying to go for the killer blow. What's wrong with him? I thought he held no ill will towards me. Well, I'm not convinced. Are you, viewers?
In him, the person, for not being the person of respect and dignity that I thought he was, and to make this about subscribers when it's never been about subscribers for CIW.
It's a good job, isn't it? No, I'm going to put something in the jar for that. To be fair, that was a cheap shot. Kind of true, but that was a cheap shot. I'm down to £2 now, guys. Do you know what? You can sometimes get them cheap sausages. You know, there's a lot of water in them, and they're not very good quality, but you can sometimes get the cheap sausages for £2. Looks like I'm eating them tonight.
It's been about quality of product, and I think that miscommunication was evident early on in the partnership in the way that he thought that he was so much bigger than CIW that he had to be on the main event every single week. And
we've gone through this, but somebody's clearly too stupid to understand. No, you know what? Stupid's an insult. I'm down to £1, folks. I'm trying to think what I could get for £1. Maybe get a tin of... I can't even get a tin of beans now. The cost of them's gone up. Unless I get like home brand. Yeah, I've got some bread. I could have beans on toast. That's certainly a downgrade from fillet steak that we were starting off with. I'm going to keep this. I'm not giving up this £1 though. I'm going to keep it classy.
Because he spread such misinformation, we at the council believe that he's not really worth our time and attention. And quite frankly...
Well, do you know what, actually? Let's keep playing.
Frankly, Past Gen Wrestling didn't mean that much to us.
that was not convincing, was it? Do you know what? If that was in a film, I'd say, cut, do it again. Not convincing, that little thing. He clearly bothered.
He asked us for the partnership.
To help you out.
And we said yes.
Because you wanted the help.
It ended up not being what we thought, and so we decided to pull apart from Past Gen. Now that
was agreed before the match that we had. You know, the last match. Again, he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth there. You know, maybe a broken clock is right twice a day.
Doesn't mean that we are upset at his accomplishments.
You are, though.
We're very happy for Past Gen Wrestling that
that's a lie.
They have exploded in the way that they have, and we at CIW wish nothing but their continued success.
That's a lie.
And on a personal note, I'm sorry that this ended the way it ended, and we're mostly sorry that they couldn't give us the same respect that we afforded them.
If giving respect means making an agreement with somebody and then going back on it, then absolutely. Do you know what? I don't want to show you that kind of respect. I don't think you should show anyone that kind of respect. Give people your word, folks. Keep your word. Very simple. And it'll solve a lot of headaches in life. And don't deal with people that do that, like this idiot here. I've called him an idiot, haven't I? Do you know what? I'm not eating anything today. He's ruined this now. I was having fillet steak. He's ruined everything. But anyway, I'm going to keep going.
Week after week after week, giving them as much airtime as we did. And we expected a little bit of respect on their part that never came. So we're sorry it ended like this, but we still wish nothing but success.
Liar.
For Past Gen Wrestling in its future endeavors. But we here at Colonial Impact Wrestling move on. with what CIW is doing and what we've been doing, and that's not going to change, and it never will change.
It really doesn't change, guys, including the subscriber count as well. That's not changed for about 10 years until we came aboard. But he's not bothered about us going, so...
And the fact that we've gotten this massive streak of viewership, I would believe is rather unrelated.
Yeah, definitely. It's got nothing to do with us teaming with you. You just suddenly gained 50 subscribers for the first time in sort of 10 years or whatever. Just for nothing. You know, it just happened. You've been uploading the same type of content for 13 years, and out of the blue, you just get 50 subscribers That's what happened. It's completely unrelated, guys, to the fact that we were working together. It's got nothing to do with that. Your mind's racing ahead if you think that's the case. Don't be ridiculous.
To what Past Gen has done, but that doesn't mean that they have not earned the success that they have.
Oh, well, I'm glad I've got his permission now. I'm glad he's saying we've earned it. I think if he didn't say that we'd earned it, I think I might give back all them. Can you do that? Can you give your subscribers back to YouTube? Well, that's what I might have to do. But now he said that he thinks we've earned it, then that's fine then. Obviously the authority on this type of thing, innit?
So, Jason and the entirety of PG...
Not my name.
CIW from Colonial Impact Wrestling and from the Sentinel itself, good luck in everything you do going forward.
Doesn't mean that.
From me to you, Jason.
Oh, you see that? See the turn? I told you, didn't I? See the turn there? See the face change? Eh? He's done all that dancing around the subject. Now that's... Do you know what that is? That's the act. That's the routine. That's the front he's putting on in front of the cameras. What you're going to see for the last 30 seconds is the real him coming out. And it's a little bit sinister and also very cringy. Let's watch it.
I just want you to know, you still got a lot of learning to do, kid. You think you've got all the answers, but...
I think we're about the same age, by the way. I'm not on camera, I look a lot younger, but I think we're about the same age, so don't know why he's calling me kid. Compared to him, I do look like a kid, but let's move on.
You've only been in this business for a short time, and take it from somebody who blazed the trail that you now walk on to.
Yeah, because before this guy came along, nobody had thought of recording gameplay. This guy was the inventor of recording gameplay. Every YouTuber that does gaming, right, they should be paying this guy royalties. They should be absolutely grateful. They should pay homage to him, and they should give him a percentage of any money they earn, because they've ripped this guy off. This guy was the first person to record gameplay footage. And it's just disgusting how these people have ripped him off over the years. No, I agree with him on that. That's 100% true.
Your success, take it from me.
I don't need to take anything. There's nothing to take from you, so.
It's a house of cards, buddy. And when that first toothpick falls, so will the rest.
Oh.
But you got to find that out on your own. Meanwhile, CIW continues to do what it does, and we'll see you this Saturday.
Oh, you see that? You see the little jab, hey, do you hear that? House of cards. Nice metaphor, eh? I'm just trying to think how long it would have took him to come up with that. Because to be honest, there was a huge gap between him saying he was going to respond and him actually responding. So I'm assuming that the majority of the time trying to work that video out, which he hasn't actually recorded, you can see him pressing the button on the phone, so he's not done any editing there. He's just pressed record and talk for 3 minutes. Now, if you're going to respond to something, just responding to it the way he's done it, you can do it instantly, can't you? You can do it 2 minutes after whatever's happened. But he's put a lot of thought into that. You notice how the laptop's partially open there? He'll say it's off the top of his head. I can guarantee you he had a little script notes there that he wrote down. So he didn't make a misstep. Because, you know, if you just talk from the heart like I do, you know, if I fumble a word, I might edit it out. I'm not going to say it's a complete thingy, but I talk off the fly. Sometimes I go on a bit too long, but you can tell what I'm saying. It's completely off the fly. With this guy, everything's worked out in it. But if you want to talk about toothpicks, I've got news for you. You're talking about one toothpick going and that could be the whole house of cards falling. Well, that might be the case with your channel, because you've only got one toothpick. You can't afford to lose any toothpicks. Down here at Past Gen Gaming, we've got lots of toothpicks. I'll tell you what, we're throwing toothpicks around like Scott Hall in the 1990s. We've got a room full of toothpicks. I can't move for them. They fall in from places. I didn't even know I had places. We could throw 100 toothpicks at you every day, and we'd still have enough toothpicks to go around. Alright, I might have gone too far with the toothpicks metaphor, but you get the point I'm making. He's trying to warn me about all the success, but he's never had any success, so I could understand if he used to be successful and he took a big plunge, but it's not happened. That could happen to me one day. But do you know what? At least I know what it was like to get there and then fall down. This guy's never been there to start with. He's never been there. But he's advising me. And to finish off, I did say it somewhere around here, didn't I? Was it here?
Regards to emails that...
There you go. Regards to emails, he's saying I'm lying about emails. Well, I'm going to give you a one. I'm not going to make it all metaphorical and I'm not going to script this out. I'm just going to tell it to you straight. You need to stop lying about me. The stuff you're saying is not true. And the problem you've got is, you may have a short memory. You may forget some of the emails that we exchanged. Because it was, a couple of months ago when we first started talking. And he might think that some of those emails have gone. He might think I delete emails. I've got news for you. I don't delete emails. I've got emails dating back to 2015. Every single message that was sent between me and him, I've got it backed up. Now listen, when I have a private conversation with somebody, I like to keep that private and confidential, because that's just the way I am. But if you're going to keep continuing to lie and continuing to say things that aren't true, I may be forced to pull these emails out, and I may be forced to expose you for being a liar, because that's what you are. The things you're saying are not true, and I can prove it with emails. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be very generous to you. This is a one-time offer. You've lied about me. Do you know what? You don't even have to apologise. As far as I'm concerned, it's done. I'd rather just leave this now, because it's not doing me any good. It's doing him a lot of good, because obviously, the more I talk about him, the more people are going to come over to his channel. But I'll give you this opportunity. You don't owe me an apology. You do really, but do you know what? I'm not that bothered. You don't owe me an apology. Just stop with the lies. Stop uploading videos where you're telling lies about me. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I won't expose the emails, because as soon as they come out, I think maybe you need to go back and look at some of the emails, because I think you've forgotten some of the things that were wrote and things that were said between us. You must be misremembering, you must be forgetting stuff, because I've been through them emails, I've looked at everything, and everything I'm saying is 100% consistent with what is in them emails. Believe me, I do my research, I've got my facts there, they're all there. I'd rather not leak them to the public, but if you carry on, well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to expose you as a liar. Unfortunately, that's what I'm going to have to do. And do you know what? You might think you've not got much to lose with 395 subscribers. I guarantee you, when the truth comes out, and if it does come out, and I don't want to do this, I'd rather just let him bygones be bygones and just move on, but if you want to keep telling lies about me, the truth will come out. And when the truth comes out, I guarantee you, you'll be lucky to get 30 subscribers, mate. As meanwhile, we continue over here at Past Gen Gaming. Over 8,000 subscribers, millions of views on shorts, and nearly 10,000 on videos. You might think you've got nothing to lose, but let me tell you, that little thing you've got, it could be about to go. And believe me, that's not a little threat, that's a promise. Keep going. Keep going with your shit. We'll see you as the liar, won't we, when these emails come out. Again, you've got the chance, don't have to do it, but I'm willing to send them. If you want to keep going, you only got yourself to blame. That's it for today. See you next time.